All right, internets. So it's Monday night. Been doing a lot of planning today. I'm kind of in a phase where I'm trying to plan out all of next year. I don't want to wait until the end of December to plan it out. So I'm basically gathering ideas and just kind of getting the vibes. Like I plan weird. So I kind of first try to gather the vibes of what I want to attract. I try to I do it like if it was art. I don't know if any of you are artistically inclined. If you've ever drawn something, you kind of sure, you can wait for inspiration, but you can also kind of get in the moment and kind of just see what you can draw out, and just let it flow. And so I kind of try to focus on sensations and emotions and images that I have and see how that would work out and how I would like to shape next year. And, or I guess, I don't know if it goes deeper than that. Like, I don't know. I don't really want to get into beliefs right now, but just kind of just let it flow through me and see what myself kind of wants to accomplish next year. And then I start working on the details. I start thinking of the people that can help me get there. I try to find ways that I could help them and be of value to them. I don't like to just ask for things, but that is a thing I have learned in the past, that you have to be willing to ask for what you want. If you don't ask, you'll never get it. Now, part of that is I also, interestingly enough, seem to attract the things that I need to hear to my life. Like even something dumb as a Facebook Live that someone's doing, that is exactly what I was hoping to hear, um, stuff like that. But so anyway, so today, like I told you guys before, we're struggling. We've got some challenges that have left us in a position where we're not where we should be, not very happy with things. But a good launching pad is always gratitude. So my friend Kenny Santos, he's always telling me that I should focus on gratitude, being grateful. And I don't know. I don't know if being a Virgo and being so perfectionist and just always just I'm my biggest critic. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to focus on the gratitude. And just randomly on my Facebook, on my wall today, I guess, is Zig Ziglar's 91st birthday. If he was alive, that's what he'd be celebrating. And so there was this Facebook Live from an old recording where he talks about gratitude and positive attitude, right? And yeah, I tend to be a little bit more realistic and maybe pragmatic, but I know that you accomplish more if you're positive, so I work on that. So I was talking to my friend Joe a little bit earlier, and he's giving me some good news, some stuff that's gonna be able to help me with some of the issues that we're doing. Like he's kind of getting back on the field, and he's like my main guy. Like he's my best friend. He's my brother, right? And I work really well when I'm with him. And again, I don't pretend to be some huge networker or anything like that. Okay, so yeah, I can be way better. I could be way better, but it's a lot easier to have someone to work with sometimes. So the biggest struggle I have right now is that in the group that I'm forming, that I have formed, I'm the only person that has experience, and sometimes I feel like I'm battling it alone, and it's discouraging, because all my friends are in the States, and okay, so I do have friends here in Peru, but it's different when how do you say, when you're the one that knows and you're supposed to teach people, that kind of makes you the smartest guy in the room. And I don't want to sound prideful, okay? So don't, I know how the internet likes to sometimes misinterpret things, okay? I'm saying, if there's this phrase that says that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So what happens when you are the mentor to people? What happens when you are, the person that is supposed to instruct them, okay? At least in that area, I'm the quote unquote smartest person in the room for that group. I'm sure if I was with other, big leaders in the industry here in Peru, I wouldn't be, but in my group, I am. And so how do I improve, myself? So I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of listening to materials, audiobooks, audio programs, etc. But I do miss my friends like Brian, like Kenny, like Joe, because, like the song says, they raise me up, and I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but it's like they help me improve, they help me advance, and so why? Okay, that's weird. I don't know why my phone is like only letting me record like 5 minutes at a time. So I guess it's trying to help me with the length of my videos. But anyways, so I'm listening to this thing from Zig Ziglar where he talks about gratitude, and so um, I was looking back at my year, and so back in 2015, I was at a company that was just blowing up. I was making $8,000 a month. Okay, it was the most money I've ever made in my life. It was crazy. Now, I was totally really stupid with that money. I mean, I knew nothing about personal finances. I knew nothing about what to do with that money. So a lot of it got wasted. I invested in some things I shouldn't have invested. I spent some things thinking they were an investment, but it was just a waste of money. I blew a lot of it off with stupid travels and just I don't know at the time. Just I wasn't ready, right? And even my mentor, like I mentioned in another video, he had told me like, dude, go ahead and move into a nice apartment. Like get yourself a nice place where you can have some proof of your success around you. Change the environment you're in, and it will rocket you, propel you towards the next level, which I was trying to hit. I was trying to overcome the $10,000 a month barrier. So that's one of my goals to this day because I've never made over $10,000 a month. The highest I got was $8,750. I mean, that's so close. Okay, if I had been doing other things, maybe if I had other streams of income too, I could have reached it. So before I was all focused on just MLM. Now I'm more open to alternative sources of income too. Okay, because most millionaires they have at least three sources of income, at least three, and on average they have about seven or eight. So I do other things now, like 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 some coaching, some small business mentoring, stuff like that. I do that stuff as an extra. I am open to a bunch of different things as extra. Part of what I do, my business, we teach Forex investing. So, duh, I invest in Forex. Now I'm diversifying, getting into cryptocurrencies. So you got to have different streams of income. So it's not just, I don't just do MLM. Plus, I want to have other big businesses. Later on, we might talk about some of the big plans that I have. Just know that Elon Musk is one of my like heroes in my life. So it's like, just think about how crazy he is and the crazy things he does. Yeah, sort of like that. I think I have the same sickness. Anyways, so back in 2015, that happened. That I was making that kind of money, and then that company went under, bankrupt. Okay, they couldn't pay their loans. They just shut it all down. They didn't pay commissions for a couple months. Screwed everyone over. Obviously, that hurts the industry. There was a bunch of people we invited to be a part of it. That obviously they're not gonna go take out their anger or whatever out on the company because that's way far away. So it's a people business. So and it hurt me spiritually, it hurt me emotionally, it hurt me in my self-confidence, it hurt me financially a lot because I had saved zero money. Like I said, I knew nothing about personal finance, okay, and financial fitness or anything like that. And that's where my previous company, Life Leadership, totally changed my life because I learned so much about actual personal finance, so I'll be forever thankful to Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady. Those guys are great. Shout out to them. If you like that stuff, that's great. I'm just more into a business where you can actually make money. Okay, but the principles are fantastic. Okay, so I started applying them. And some of the stuff I already knew. The thing is, it's not about knowing, it's about doing. It's like they say in the Fast and the Furious, Edwin knows a thing or two, and it's not how you stand by your car, it's how you race your car. It's like that. It doesn't matter how much you know, but how much you apply. Okay, so that's where I was, and it was hard. And for about 2.5 years, I was making like zero money. I was surviving basically I was surviving by the grace of God, and I struggled, and I was in a couple different companies. I was, well, matter of fact, I immediately after that happened, I joined the company I'm in right now. But it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right fit for me. They only focus on stock market. The reality in South America is that you don't have $2,500 to $5,000 to invest in the stock market. So it was a very, very, very close to impossible sale here in the culture here. So it was very difficult. So kind of left that. Did gymnastics for a while. A couple other things. Then that's when I went to life leadership, and basically the personal development there, that kind of helped me get over my funk, and the financial fitness helped me get on track with my finances and start making miracles with the little money that I was having, just stretching it out so much. Okay, and so I did some goals last year, December 31st. Instead of going out like everybody does, go out, get hammered, everything, and it's kind of ridiculous because you start off the year like, hungover or wasted or just, I mean, first day of the year, you're already kind of like, the vibes aren't right. So I was like, no, I'll just stay home and I'll plan out my year. And I did. And it's been miraculous. It seriously has been. And I'm running out of space here. What? Okay, so I'm running out of space on my phone. Anyways, so the gist of it is that I planned out my year, okay, and well, the first trimester, I guess, was planned out in a lot of detail, and then the further along I got, it was more kind of a little bit more vague because I couldn't see as clearly. And what I should have done is kind of as I went along, modified it or went a little bit more clear as I was moving along, but I didn't. So basically, one of the things was like by March, be making over $1,000 a month within all the stuff that I was doing. Well, no, it started out with like in February, I had to move out. Okay, I was living with a friend, and I wanted to move out on my own. I was just, just tired of it, and I wanted to feel independent again, like I could take care of myself. And I was supposed to do it by the 15th, and I had no way of doing it. But like a month earlier, I got a. Anyways, and like a month earlier, I got a gig as to do some translating work. It's not really translating. It was like a editing job for. I have a friend who has an editorial business. They do like English textbooks and stuff, and so I basically had to edit that stuff and make sure it was good. And it paid exactly the amount of money I needed to move out, and it was only for a month, and it was kind of like a consulting gig. So I was like, all right, it's not really a job because I have this thing with jobs, and so it worked out. I managed to move out, get my own place. It was a small little room. You've seen it in the other videos. I was like, all right, cool. So that was really good for me because I felt, again, capable of being an adult, and taking care of myself and having my own place, and it was good. It was good. Then when I started with this in March, like the goal was to at least get to $1,000 a month by March, and I overcame that goal by a long shot. I overreached it. I did 2,000 something dollars the first month. We did some really good numbers. It was pretty exciting. The second month was good. The idea was that by I basically hit all my goals. Like I was supposed to have made over $10,000 by a certain date. I think by September, and since March to September, I mean it might not sound amazing to you at all, okay? But like, let's see, I spent 2.5 years probably making in that whole time maybe 3 grand altogether, okay? If that, I don't even think I got that high. Okay, I was living off of miracles, off of one soul a day, which is like a third of $1. Just barely getting by, surviving days where I wouldn't eat. I promise you, like it's such a weird thing to say, but those people that were with me through the struggles, they know, they saw me. Okay, I would eat maybe every other day. I would spend like 2 or 3 days sometimes without really eating anything but crackers or something like that. I remember times when I couldn't even buy water, and I couldn't drink tap water because I didn't have a way to I didn't have a kitchen or anything to boil it, so it was tough. It was very difficult. Okay, so when you go from making nothing, for 2.5 years, and then in like what, 6 months, you've already made about $10,000. That's fantastic, And one of my goals since I live in Peru since 5 years ago, 2012, was to live in Miraflores, which is this really nice district. It's very touristy. It's very nice. It's safe. It's beautiful. It's alive. I really really like Miraflores. Okay, and my goal was always to live here, and by July, no, by August, I moved into an apartment. Now, see, here's the thing. Here's where it gets interesting. So, all I knew in my plans was that I was gonna move out to an apartment, that was decent, that was nice, but I didn't go any more specific than that. Okay, so in retrospect, I'm not super thrilled and happy with the place I got. It's a little bit too expensive for what it is. I like the area. Just, but the thing is, it happened, and it happened as detailed as I did it. So since it wasn't very detailed, it wasn't very focused, it kind of just happened like, like this is what you get. So when you're planning stuff, make sure you're very, very detailed. The more detailed and specific you can get, then the more likely it is that you will attract just that. If you just go like, think about this, okay? Let's say your goal is, I want to have more money. You go out right now to the street and you find $1. Is that not more money? The universe delivered. Who failed in that case? You failed for not being specific enough. So that happened to me. Okay, I like this place. I'm grateful for it. It's fantastic. It's definitely the best living situation I've had in the last probably 6 or 7 years. Okay, so I'm thrilled with it. Could have been better, but I wasn't specific enough. So now for next year, I'm getting more specific. Okay. What else? And just little goals. Now, there's been some setbacks and stuff, and that's kind of why I wanted to focus on the gratitude thing. So Sig Ziglar says to start making a list of things that you do like. So sometimes people go like, "Oh, I don't like my job. There's nothing I like about my job." And it's like, okay, do you get paid to do that job just out of curiosity? Yeah. And you're telling me you don't like to get paid? No, of course, yeah, I like to get paid. Okay, so that's one thing you like about it. And do you get paid little or do you get paid above average? I don't know about you guys, but every time I've had a job, I've always asked for above average. I mean, since I was 11 in the States, I was making $8 an hour during my summer jobs because I was working for my friend's parents. So when I went out to a real job, I was like, what? No, I'm not making less than $8 an hour. That's what I've been making since I was 11, 12. So I've always, that was back when it was at like 650 or 750 or something like that. And so then the next job, I was like, well, I used to make 850 at my last job, so I'm expecting nine, and so I even just, no college degree, just high school, I'd be making like $12 an hour. I did some fun jobs, so, but heck, I've even gotten jobs when they weren't hiring. Okay. So it just depends on what your expectations are, right? So I really don't know where we're talking about how much we get paid by the hour. But you basically have to be specific about what you want. Okay? And man, I really don't like the fact that I just got lost there. I don't know where I was going. Anyways, the living situation is fantastic. Okay, so it's way better. So, oh yeah, I was talking about that. Yeah, so you do like to get paid at your job, and you probably get paid more than the bare minimum. So there's things that you should be happy about. Now, in your job, you might have some benefits. You might, so there is things that are positive. Okay, and so when you change what you look at changes. Okay, so right now I'm struggling, and so it's like, okay, so a good exercise would be to start thinking positive, and so that I can start attracting that, so I can put it out there and attract it, because life is like a boomerang, you throw it out and it comes back to you. So if I want excitement, I gotta be excited, I gotta throw that out, give that out to people. If I want people being nice to me, I gotta be nice to people. So I gotta help out, I gotta reach out and be a nice human being to people. Sometimes all it takes is just listening to a person, saying a kind word, like taking that time to, give a reply on social media, or maybe someone that wrote you and you're like, but you decide to be a good human being anyways, and it takes zero effort to write something back to someone, and that could totally change their day. Like, I'm talking to a girl right now that we don't really know each other, but she's having some struggles, and she just wants to talk to someone just to get her mind off things, and I'm here, I'm not doing much right now, and so before this video, I was just chit-chatting with her, and it was helping her out. It's like, like, I'm having fun, I'm talking to a new person, getting to know them, and it's kind of like a service thing, like, it's helping her out, and so, that makes you feel good and helpful in the world, and Like you're doing your part. You always got to do a little bit, you know. Um, like the last time that I got paid, I was thinking about how, okay, so I gotta be better with my money. Money's tight, this and that, you know. Just and then I came out of the bank and there was this lady that just I always see her and I kind of ignore her. She's a person that's asking for money all the time, and she has her kid. And sometimes you judge people and you're like, I can't believe you're using your kid to get me to give you money and stuff like that. But it's like no, it's because that's how she gets money, and she doesn't have anybody to leave the kid with. But so she asked me to. She didn't ask me for money. She asked me to buy her some chicken, like some pollo a la brasa, okay, rotisserie chicken or something with fries. And I was like, damn, that stuff's so expensive here in Miraflores. And so I'm like, you know what? Sure, you get what you give, you know? So I was like, I've got some, and why not? I'll just help her out. So we went to the place and she's like, well, I don't know how expensive it would be here. She's like, I'm from Callao, this area that's kind of far away, that's a little bit cheaper. And she was like, I don't know how expensive it is, but for like 12 soles, I can buy a whole chicken by my house, and just a whole thing. And that's what like a leg of chicken would cost or something like that. And it turns out it was like 17 or 18 soles. And I was like, okay, like no big deal, like I'd rather just give you the money. And if I give you this money, can you like go home? Because it was late. I'm like, would you be okay to just go home now? And she was like, yeah. So I gave her the money, like 20, 25 dollars, I don't remember. And and she could finally go home with her kid and make some food and probably better than just eating once. That was probably for like a couple days or something. And it's not that much money, like at all. And it's not about how much money it is. It's about the fact that if you think you can't help, because a lot of times people go like, "Oh, I don't have money, I can't help," then what are you saying? What are you sending the universe? You're telling the universe you don't have. You're sending out lack, your want for stuff. And so the universe is going to say, "Oh, you don't have? Cool. You don't have. That's what I'm giving you. Yeah, you don't have money. Your wish is my command." So when you help others, it shows gratitude. It shows a mentality of abundance, and that helps. And it helps you feel good. You feel good when you help people. Now, I kind of feel bad for telling y'all that. But it was a long time ago. It was a few weeks back. So it's not that I was doing it and then posting it on social media like, oh, hey, check it out here, giving some money out to this lady. No, I think that's stupid. Okay, so don't do that stuff. I hate those viral videos where they do like these social experiments and they're like, oh, look, poor people, like they are more kind, or they're more willing to share than rich people. Like that's such BS, because those guys get it all monetized and they make millions, and you're like, oh, I'm so touched, and you share it and you're making the millions for like using people's tragedies. That's so stupid. Anyways, so basically right now, I guess I want to just make sure I focus on the things I'm grateful for. And I'm very, very grateful for, um, well, for all the blessings I have in my life, for my mom, my dad, my sisters. I have wonderful sisters. My little sister is now pregnant. She's the last of my four sisters to have kids. Now I'm the only single, unmarried, unparent of my family. So like my mom's always like bugging me about, when am I gonna get married, when I'm gonna, whatever, working on it. But right now I'm just chasing money first. Like I've always been taught, you chase money, you'll never be lacking girls, but if you chase girls, you lose. I don't know. That's something Brian always said. And then I'm also very grateful for Brian, for Joseph, for all my friends, really. Um, for special someone that I kind of am seeing a lot of lately. She's pretty great. I write about her or something on Facebook. Uh, she's getting some poetry out of me. Some pretty good stuff. I haven't written poetry in a long time. So I'm grateful for that, and she's just wonderful. I'm grateful for where I live. I'm grateful for air. I'm very grateful for my business, the opportunity that I have, the fact that I'm learning so much. I'm grateful that, the team that I've got around me, I mean, it's not as big as it was, but the people I've got in my team are the right people. They've been here already long enough. They're getting some experience. And if they're here, they're the ones that got to be here. I'm grateful for the Dolphins. I'm seriously grateful for having this amazing house. Like, it's freaking awesome. It's Yeah, it's expensive, but it helps me stay at that level, you know, because it freaks me out when I can't pay for it. I'm grateful because it drives me. I'm grateful for Miraflores. It's a really beautiful place to live. They have a store that's open 24/7. That's fantastic. I hate lines, so I love to go out at 2 a.m. and buy. And basically, I'm out of time. I don't have any more memory. So basically, I'm out of memory. So, but yeah, I'm grateful for a lot of things. And the more you think about it, the more things you have to be grateful for. And it's good exercise that I would have all of you guys try. And love you, internet.